Hi guys, I'm Shmi and welcome to the Ferrari stand at the 2016 Paris Motorshow. There are three things to show you here, the highlight probably of the entire motor show. That is the LaFerrari Aperta. Then we're going to take a look at the GTC4lusso T, now with the V8 in Ferrari's four-seater. And then we've got the 70th anniversary celebrations, the 350 cars with specific liveries. Let's head over to where the crowd is at the other end and get started with the LaFerrari Aperta. Here we go then, and doesn't it look good? So there are going to be 200 customer LaFerrari Apertas, as well as an additional 9 cars that Ferrari are creating themselves to celebrate next year's 70th anniversary, so 1947 to 2017, 70 years of Ferrari, which will lead us on to the other cars at this stand. Now this is not as simple as just cutting off the roof. Of course, that's the main visual difference. No roof. Aperta, the Italian word for open, as has been used before on the Speciale Aperta, and I suppose the SA Aperta, the convertible version of the 599 GTO, which was always one of my favourites. So only 209. That's going to make this a pretty rare and very special car, and as a result, there's a 50% price increase versus LaFerrari Coupe. Now, in terms of the aerodynamics, one big thing. From the LaFerrari Coupe, the radiators were positioned to send hot air over the top of the car, which obviously here would mean it comes straight in. And the last thing you want is warmth into the cabin. So to combat that, the radiators have had to be repositioned, the angle changed, and sending the air underneath. So to beat that, you've got to change the aerodynamics, a new under tray, completely new workings under there. Now, another thing that had to change is the door mechanism. The previous door was mounted both here and also up on the roof to swing open. Obviously, you can't have any attachment up there now, so there's a new door mechanism which opens it at a new angle and strengthened here to support it and ensure that it lasts and works properly. So this particular car is looking very good in the grey with the red pinstriping around the front, up through the nose, the front splitter and the side skirt. It's got carbon fibre around the window and on the rear deck. And that roof, I should talk about the roof. It's a soft roof, fabric roof, carbon and fabric, that folds up and can be stored away in the bonnet. Now, when you're running on the fabric roof, you're limited to a top speed of 130 kilometers per hour. There's also an option for 50,000 euros of a solid carbon fibre roof that you can use on the car if you prefer. So let me squeeze it down past the car and come and show you around the back. Although in doing so, I come past their new 70th anniversary logo with the years. As you can see there on the side, but I want to catch a glimpse of the engine bay as well, so I'm going to try and squeeze around and show you in there, because I mean it's a work of art and it actually looks even better with that striping around to match up with the stripe through the centre of the carbon engine covers. But around here, nothing visually changed. You still have the active deployable rear spoiler here, quad exhaust pipes, the Formula 1 style central light there, and the active fins under the rear, just doing all sorts of magical things. So we're powered by the same engine. I can show you the quick details here. You've got the 6.3 litre V12, good for a total of 950 horsepower, 800 CV PS from the petrol engine, and a further 163 from the high KERS setup. Meaning performance figures that are kind of mind-blowing, but that is how it is with the LaFerrari. So this is a very, very special car. We can see the carbon fibre of the rear piece here. And I'll try and catch a quick glimpse into the inside. So actually this car just has carbon everywhere. But a quick glimpse in here because, well, it's rather beautiful to look straight in at it. You've got another 70th anniversary plaque there in the backboard, under the deflector glass piece there too. The LaFerrari Aperta badge on the dashboard. That is a menacing machine. Fixed seats to the carbon shell, to the tub, and a removable pedal box. Now, I've actually been fairly lucky because before now I've been myself had the opportunity to drive 2 different LaFerraris. Both videos are on my YouTube channel, and it is a spectacular car. So I hope one day I might have to give the Aperta a go, but I can only imagine with that V12 open top, it's going to sound incredible. And just think, as a collector edition, this car, only 200 official full customer cars in the world, launched here for the first time. Let's go take a look at the GTC4lusso V8 T, or the GTC4lusso T as it's officially known. So let's take a look at what's changed, and visually, not a whole lot. The only difference is this new set of wheels. Where things have been updated is here, under the hood, the engine. This is the 3.9 litre twin turbocharged V8. So obviously it's a lighter engine. It's actually only a rear wheel drive car now as well, so it's 50 kilos lighter. Performance figures, though, are really rather impressive. So here we've got 610 horsepower rather than the 690 in the V12, but we're actually up on torque, 760 newton meters, 60 up from before. So 0 to 62 miles an hour, you can now do in 3.5 instead of 3.4, not much difference. 0 to 124 miles an hour is now 10.8, only 0.3 slower than its bigger brother. So this new engine, under 4 litres, is good for a number of reasons. Firstly, economy. Second, in a number of countries around the world, it comes in lower brackets for luxury car tax, so it hopefully opens the car up for Ferrari to a new audience. From a price point of view, it's about 25,000 or so pounds lower. The price hasn't been confirmed yet, but interior and everything is exactly how it was before. So you still have the beautiful finish, all the new entertainment and electronics in the car that you found, or I found when I drove the press car at the launch event around the Dolomites in northern Italy. So I have to say, I think this is a pretty exciting package, and I can imagine the driving style will be slightly more positioned towards a sort of sporty kind of drive. So when I drove the regular Lusso rather than the Lusso T, I was sort of surprised that it was positioned much more towards a GT car than the FF the previous generation was, which of course I drive myself. This one though, I'm looking forward to taking out and seeing what it's like on the road. No four-wheel drive, I'm not entirely sure how that translates, but it will be an interesting one to experience. Now, the third announcement at this show from Ferrari is the introduction of their 350 70th anniversary cars. So they've taken the 488 GTB, the 488 Spider, the GTC4lusso, the F12 Berlinetta, and the California T, and in each of those they will be making 70 cars wearing different liveries. So if you think about a livery like this one behind us, the Sterling, that will be available once on each of the 5 different cars. So quite a fun little thing to do to celebrate this 70th anniversary. So this particular car, like I said, this is the Sterling. It's based on the car Sir Sterling Moss drove, the 250 SWB in the blue with the white stripe, the white dot. And general sort of finishes and touches, like we've got the silver mirrors, the silver sort of stripe around the window frame there, and all wearing the 70th anniversary badge. So we've got a couple of those different models here. The Sterling on the F12 Berlinetta. We've got the Schumacher design on the 488 GTB here, so that's obviously homage to Michael Schumacher himself, in the red with the white touches like the front lipstick, the stripes over the roof, the little Italian flag down there, and the striping along the side skirts. Notice also they've got the large shields painted on the side rather than wearing the Scuderia badges. So if we keep coming through, back past the crowd, we've got the next in the line, which is the Green Jewel. Now this one comes from David Piper's privateer race team. We've got the green paint, the gold wheels, and the two-tone of the seats, one in black, one in red. Very, very standout and bespoke kind of design livery on this car. Squeeze through, a little bit tight there. That, of course, is the 488 Spider. I actually really rather like that colour. And then over here, we've got the Steve McQueen, which in this instance is a California T, finished in brown and beige. And the reason for that colour scheme is actually because it is the same as the colours that Steve McQueen's wife bought a car for him back in the day. So we've seen 4 of the 70 different designs. There's obviously quite a lot to choose from, but it's quite nice how they each have their own independent sort of colour schemes. And I do wonder if anybody out there is going to have sort of a whole set, let's say all 5 of the different models in the same colour schemes, or maybe just the variety of them. But this really was the highlight, the LaFerrari Aperta, and you can see there's quite a lot of people around it, quite hard to get near to the car. But a truly awesome machine to see and take in, as well as the GTC4lusso T behind it. So Ferrari doing a very impressive display at this year's Paris Motorshow, and drawing quite big crowds in the process. I'm looking forward to seeing some of those out and about. and enjoying what else is on at this year's motor show. So do subscribe, make sure you check it out, have a look at the other videos of the other cars that I'll be seeing and filming while I'm here in Paris. Thank you very much for watching, guys. That's it for now, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers.